Welcome to Paranormal Nightshift, your home for everything that goes bump in the dark, and your fan stories told right here. Today's story comes from Katie, and it is titled Bond's Chapel. Before we get into tonight's story, I want to let you in on something special. Ever wanted to get a jump on the paranormal action? Crave more chills, more thrills, more unexplained phenomena? Well, now's your chance. Become a member of our Patreon and get exclusive access to our early episodes. That's right, a whole week before anyone else. Not only that, but our Patreon episodes are completely ad-free, so you can dive right into the creepy without any interruptions. But that's not all. Patreon members also get a front row seat to our brand new ebook series, Paranormal Time Traveler. In this thrilling saga, our time-traveling investigator journeys back in time to explore the strange and unexplained stories submitted by you, our amazing listeners. So, if you're ready to take your paranormal obsession to the next level, head on over to Patreon and join the Paranormal Nightshift family. You won't want to miss what we have in store for you. Our Patreon link is in the description, or visit patreon.com/Paranormal Nightshift. Now, let's get into tonight's story. Living in a tiny Indiana farming town comes with its perks. Friendly faces, fresh air, and a whole lot of local legends. Our town had its fair share of spooky stories, abandoned buildings, haunted roads, the works. But Bond's Chapel was the one place we never dared to visit, despite the constant allure. There were whispers about a tombstone with a chain etched onto its surface. The story was gruesome: a jealous husband, a logger's chain, a vengeful ghost. Supposedly the number of links on the chain fluctuated, adding to the creep factor. Even worse, legend said touching the chain sealed your fate. An identical death by chain. One night, we had friends visiting from the city. Naturally, the topic of haunted places came up. Bond's Chapel was mentioned, and for the first time, the idea didn't send shivers down my spine and turn us around. Maybe it was the bravado of out-of-towners, or maybe just teenage stupidity, but we made a pact. Bond's Chapel, no backing out. The drive to the cemetery was thick with anticipation. Even the gravel road seemed to crackle with an unseen energy. When we reached the iron gates, they creaked open with an unsettling groan on their own. We huddled together, the silence of the night broken only by our nervous breaths and the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. Finally, we found it. The tombstone stood bathed in the pale moonlight, the chain a stark contrast against the weathered stone. It looked like 16 links, each one a chilling reminder of the story. My friend, always the tough guy, scoffed at the legend. Before anyone could react, his hand reached out and touched the chain. A collective gasp escaped our lips. An eerie quiet settled around us, thicker than before. Every rustle seemed amplified, every shadow stretched longer. As we turned to leave, a blinding light pierced the darkness. It came from behind us, so bright it blotted out everything else. It pulsed closer and closer, then abruptly retreated. Panic surged through me. My tough guy friend, who moments ago had been mocking the legend, was now clutching his throat, his face pale. He gasped for air, his bravado completely gone. The light reappeared, playing its terrifying game once more. This time, the car became a shield, but the fear remained palpable. The driver, consumed by a primal fear, screeched to a halt on the deserted road. As we pulled over, the light vanished, leaving us in an unsettling silence. When we finally dared to look at the car, the sight made our blood run cold. A massive dent ran along the trunk, shaped like a giant chain link. But the worst was yet to come. When my friend pulled himself out of the car, we saw it. Red marks and bruises encircling his throat, mirroring the shape of the chain he'd touched. We didn't need words. Scrambling back into the car, we didn't stop until we were back in the safety of town lights. Nobody spoke of that night for years, the memory too terrifying to revisit. Now, years later, hearing about similar occurrences at Bond's Chapel only reinforces our belief. Something evil lurks within that cemetery, and we were lucky to escape its clutches with just a damaged car and a friend's temporary chokehold. With that being said, Cassie, thank you so much for your story. Remember, if you want to support the show, head on over to our Patreon page. Your contributions help us keep the lights on, the stories flowing, and the time traveler fueled up for his next adventure. But hey, if you can't support us financially, no worries. Just sharing the show with a friend or rating us on your favorite podcast platform goes a long way. And if you've got a spooky story of your own, we'd love to hear it. Share it with us right here on Paranormal Nightshift. You never know, your story might just become the next chapter in the Paranormal Time Traveler series and told here on the show. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled for the unexplained, your ears open for the unheard, and your minds open to the possibilities.